Here is a story that captures the human side of the complex geopolitical tension between Afghanistan and Pakistan, focusing on the historic Torkham border crossing. The Whispering Border. The dust at the Torkham border crossing did not care about passports or politics. It swirled lazily in the mountain air, settling equally on the boots of Pakistani border guards and the worn sandals of Afghan traders. For generations, families, stories, and bags of sweet pomegranates had crossed this rugged mountain pass between Afghanistan and Pakistan. But today, the atmosphere was heavy. The gates were shut. Again. Ahmad, an elder Afghan trader from Jalalabad, sat on an overturned wooden crate a few hundred meters from the gate. Behind him, a long line of trucks stretched back into the horizon, their engines idling like a collective, frustrated sigh. His truck was loaded with fresh grapes, ripening too fast under the harsh sun. Every time the capitals argue, our livelihoods rot, Ahmad muttered to his young grandson, Wali. Across the steel gate stood Tariq, a young Pakistani border guard from Peshawar. Tariq adjusted his rifle, his eyes scanning the restless crowd. He spoke the same language, Pashto, as the people waiting across the line. He shared their love for green tea and the same poetry. Yet, his orders were strict. No one passes without the new, rigorous visa documentation. Security concerns in Islamabad had reached a boiling point, and the border was now a fortress of bureaucracy. As the afternoon heat peaked, a sudden commotion broke out near the front. A woman holding a sick child was pleading with the guards. She needed to reach the hospital in Peshawar, a route thousands of Afghans had used for decades. Tariq blocked the path, his heart heavy. "Mother, without the official stamp, I cannot let you through." "I am sorry," he said, trying to keep his voice firm but failing to hide the strain. From his crate, Ahmad watched the exchange. He stood up, grabbed a cold bottle of water from his truck, and walked toward the gate. He didn't try to cross. He simply stood at the barrier and offered the water to the exhausted mother, then turned his gaze to Tariq. "Young man," Ahmad said softly, his voice carrying the weight of a man who had seen borders open and close for 50 years. "We are two lungs in the same body. When one cannot breathe, the other suffocates. If the trucks stay parked, my family goes hungry. If the gates stay closed, the mistrust only grows." Tariq looked at the old man, then at the crying child, and finally at the barbed wire cutting through the Hindu Kush mountains. He knew Ahmad was right. The political rift. Fueled by cross-border security disputes, refugee deportations, and the disputed Durand Line, was a chess game played by elites, but the pawns were the ordinary people who shared the same blood and soil. Before Tariq could answer, a loud whistle blew from the Pakistani command post. A senior officer stepped out, holding a radio. Word had just come down from a bilateral meeting. A temporary 48-hour truce had been reached to clear the stranded trade trucks and humanitarian cases. The heavy steel gates groaned as they began to slide open. The crowd surged forward with a mix of relief and anxiety. The sick child was rushed through to an awaiting ambulance. Ahmad ran back to his truck, shouting at Wali to start the engine before the grapes turned to vinegar. As Ahmad's truck finally rumbled across the line, he locked eyes with Tariq. The young guard gave a subtle, respectful nod of his head. Ahmad smiled back, but the relief was bittersweet. They both knew that this opening was temporary. Until the deep-rooted political anxieties between Kabul and Islamabad were truly healed, the gates would always be at the mercy of the next political storm.